together. Let's see here.
We look good. We look like a show.
How do we look?
We look like a show.
That's a show.
We look like we're on a show. Wait, is it on? Is it live?
Yeah, you're live. We're happening.
Is it really?
It's really happening.
No, it's not.
It is happening.
And I'm saying we look like we're on a show. Well, you didn't tell me when to start.
Your fans have been notified.
Okay.
Please. I couldn't read the rest of that.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Bear with us, guys.
Well, it says there's no
So like. It's so like awful to have to wear reading glasses because I have to like take them off and put them on. It's like I wish I could just glance down, but I have to be like, wait a second. That is kind of funny though. We look like we're on a show.
We're definitely broadcasting. Currently no active
But
viewers.
I didn't advertise for this because I wasn't sure for if you were coming and I
Does that
wasn't
look
sure
okay, you guys?
how to advertise.
Not too much brightness behind Nikki. You think it's okay, honey?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So
My streaking angle will be right.
I think it's too close.
Are we live?
What? Yeah, you're live.
Shouldn't we bring it closer?
Well, if we can, then when we get closer, we won't be able to. See, that's why I want you guys to move closer together.
Oh, even more?
But no. You guys are okay now.
Okay. I thought we were going to have, like, Nikki come on after.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Just go with hi, everybody, and start.
Hi, everybody. This is our first show. So you have to really bear with us. But anyway, let me introduce myself because none of you know me. And this is a process. But I have been selected to do Bid Chat. And we are doing a metaphysical show. So this is Metaphysically Speaking with Mystic Madison. So some of the things that we'll be talking about on the show are basically metaphysical things. And today I have a lovely guest. I might as well introduce her right away because I bet you've been wondering, like, who's this lovely person sitting next to you? Is she part of the audience? So this is Nikki Bradley. And Nikki was great to come today because she's part of a bigger healing sanctuary that's called Sanctuary Much. That's Sanctuary-Much. And it was started by Julie Roberts.
Julie Roberts.
Not to be mistaken with Julia Roberts, but Julie Roberts. And Sanctuary Much is apparently like a one-stop shopping place for metaphysical practitioners. Is that kind of what it is?
We do like make natural like holistic products, but what we really specialize in is Reiki. We offer Reiki services to those in need. People, animals, whatever. Reiki has no limit as to what it can touch. And what Reiki is it's universal life force energy. It's a Japanese word. It originated in Japan. It's an ancient Japanese form of healing where they believed that was healing through touch.
Mm-hmm.
And
so wait, did I hear you correctly? Did you say that you offer Reiki to anyone in need?
Yes.
Like it's donation based or it's...
Most of us, we can work donation based, depending on the situation. We do usually charge for a session because so much goes into it. And we do past life regressions, we do readings, we do, full on healing sessions, which I would love to demonstrate in a future show.
Yeah,
and
that'd be great.
And we're basically any need that you have, we basically give you the tools to own your own energy field.
Okay, so, and that brings us to what the show is about today. We're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be psychic, but today's show is, I think, very apropos for the moment, especially because we're in a time that's a little chaotic. It's also Halloween. There's a lot of like scary, mischievous stuff out there. And we're really, for the purpose of today's show, we're going to be giving the example of how to own your own auric space and auric field, and Nikki is going to demonstrate that. But I also wanted to say let's talk a little bit about before we get into that, because the aura is a whole nother part of a conversation. And usually for somebody who's very sensitive or somebody who's very psychic, you will feel your auric atmosphere a lot more than someone who isn't as in tune or psychic. And one of the things we wanted to cover before we get into some of the things that Nikki was going to demonstrate about cleansing was really, how do you know if you're psychic? I mean, I'm starting this show. This is my very first show called Metaphysically Speaking with Mystic Madison. I didn't know I was psychic. And many of you may not know if you're psychic, if you're not psychic, or what it even means, or what kind of impressions you'll get. Also, can someone be born psychic? Or is that really the only way it happens? Or can you develop into a more psychic person? So that's some of the things we'll be discussing today. I'm supposed to say that if you really like this subject and you like metaphysics and you're interested in this this opportunity that I've been given to have different guests, and Nikki's certainly coming back because we have an amazing show coming up around Halloween where we're going to be talking about hauntings and ghosts, and she pitched that idea to me, and we came up with this wonderful idea that people can call in with their ghost stories. So if you're interested in metaphysics and you'd like to follow me and you'd like to follow this subject material, please heart me. Just heart me. And a portion of this actually goes to charity as people call in and donate. But let's talk a little bit about what it means to be psychic. I'm going to talk about myself first. I think that maybe that would lead us into you talking about yourself, because I actually don't know your history that much in terms of how you found out you were psychic. And then we can go into why it's important to keep your auric field clean. It's a little bit like dental hygiene. It's a little bit like flossing your teeth. I mean, just as people get bacteria in between their teeth, we collect all sorts of schmutz, if I can say that word. With my Jewish heritage, we collect schmutz from the atmosphere. So I'll just give a little brief thing about myself and we'll go into you. I never knew I was psychic. I started becoming fascinated with astrology when I was probably a preteen. I think I found some books in the library, found out that I'm a Sagittarius, was able to understand my entire family dynamic based on understanding my mother's sign, my father's sign, my brother's sign. And suddenly my world made sense. It made sense why certain people were controlling. It made sense why I was kind of on my own path and nobody got me. And that really kind of helped me to navigate my childhood. So I kind of fell in love with it. And then after that, around my 20s, I had a friend that was a tarot card reader. She just did it as a hobby. And I became fascinated with the cards because I was never sure about the unknown, and the cards seemed to give us answers. So she gave me her deck. She wasn't as into it as I was, and I took a class. And one day, it was a 10-week course at a place called the Psychic Eye. One day, during maybe the 8th or the 9th week, the store happened to be short readers that day. And the teacher said, well, Madison's good. Why don't you just ask Madison? Because they really were stuck. And I said yes. And by the way, I don't want to segue too much, but I really believe that's how life works. When something comes in, you might not expect it, but there's these moments in the space of our lives where you're supposed to say yes. If you don't say yes, it's not that opportunity will not come again, but you may have to wait. And it may have been that it's sort of like catching a wave, it's like surfing. But anyway, so just to wrap this up, I never really knew I was psychic. I knew I could read cards. I knew I could translate cards. I could interpret cards, and I knew I could get the answers out for other people. And because of that, I actually succeeded, and it floored me. I was really surprised. And then as I did it more and more and more, I noticed that I started getting other hits, even when I wasn't with my cards or around my cards. So my vote would be that you can develop psychic ability. I may have been born psychic, and it had been shrouded, or it had been kept from me because of my conservative background, but it's developed and is developing more and more and more. Okay. So do you want to give the audience like a little bit? Because I think a lot of people out there might not know even what being psychic means.
Sure, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Nikki Bradley. And again, I am a shamanic Reiki master trained by Julie Roberts under Sanctuary Much. And I have been working with Julie for the past 7 years. And I'm going to explain to you a little bit of my background and how I came into Reiki and how it's helped me change and save my life. Because growing up for me, it was kind of similar to your story, where I didn't really know what being psychic was. And since I was a child, I had been having these experiences. And I grew up actually in a house that was across the street from the cemetery. So not only was I an open, child who was sensitive to things, but I was also experiencing things that I couldn't explain that came off very scary. Like, I wasn't seeing things per se, but I was witnessing like doors opening and closing by themselves, and just feelings of eeriness and not being alone when you're completely alone in a room.
Do you think part of that was that your house was haunted, or do you
Yes.
think okay? So
No doubt.
So you were also you were not just a psychic kid, but you were
Yes.
also growing up in a
I
haunted
was a
house.
psychic kid who didn't know I was psychic, and I had a haunted house, and everybody told me, "Oh, don't worry, it's okay. You don't, worry
Just
about
ignore
those
it?"
things." Yeah, but as I got older, I became more and more sensitive, and I just felt out of place. In society, it's like we're molded to be a certain way and believe certain things, and I think as children, we're kind of programmed, on how to think and how to be. And I am a believer that we are born with these gifts. And
Okay.
I believe that, we are more children tend to be more susceptible and open to psychic energy and things like that, because they're more closer to source, from whatever source is. It's just, they're closest to the veil, just like when we pass away when we're older, we get closer to the veil.
Mhm.
So people start hallucinating, and things like dementia pop up, and
Right, but what kind of experiences? I mean, what about the person who doesn't live in the haunted house? Like, what kind of psychic experiences? I mean, yours was kind of like laid out for you. Like, you could not
Yes.
miss being psychic.
And
living
as
in that
I aged
house.
into my teenage years, it got worse and worse and stronger and stronger, and it was to the point where it was like I had to get out of that environment. And later on down the line, I mean, I grew up not understanding any of it, and then when I turned 21, that year I went to Las Vegas with one of my closest friends, and she was into healing and crystals and energy, and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But she decided to take me with her on a journey. So we went to Las Vegas, and we went to this crystal store, and this gentleman approached me, and he said, "Hey, are you a healer yet?" And I said, "What is that?" Because I was unfamiliar with the whole environment of what it was, healing crystals. And so he said, "Oh, you don't know what that is?" He's like, "You're a healer. You're meant to be a healer. That's who you are. That's what you're meant to do." And I said, "Well, I don't understand what that is." He said, "Here, take this book. You're gonna."
And what book was that?
It was a book on crystals and all their metaphysical properties and how they can.
Okay, this is going to be our third show. We are going to do a crystal show. We're going to talk about the different properties of crystals and how they can help facilitate your psychic abilities.
Yeah, and this is actually leading up to how I got into Reiki, because I came back from that experience like, whoa, this guy just told me all these things, and like, I don't know what he's talking about, but it just had a little impact on me, because I was terrified of anything that had to do with being psychic because of how I grew up in that house with this.
Yes.
I felt like those things were all bad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And scary.
But I'm just wondering, because I was less exposed as a kid than you were, obviously. I'm just wondering how the public who might not have, I mean, we may have a very aware public, but maybe there's some people watching that don't even know the definition of being psychic. And they
Being
don't live in a haunted
psychic
house.
is a very broad term, because to be psychic means that you're just in tune. You're in tune with your surroundings. You're in tune with your environment, which is, you know, you're vibrating a certain frequency depending on, you know, how you're feeling at the moment or what you're feeling. Some people are very sensitive. There's so many different levels of being psychic, and so many people experience different things. Some may experience all of them, some may experience some of them. And for people that grow up in straight environments that are not haunted, that are very conservative, but you still, I mean, most of those you'll see a lot of empathy. I call it empathy, and that is the empathy is when you are sensitive to the energy of others, and you are so sensitive, and you can tell that someone is in a bad mood from a mile away. Before you even talk to this person, you're already feeling this compassion, or you're feeling these emotions. You know, that is an example of empathy, and that is also a form of being psychic, like I was saying earlier. Also, another form of empathy is when you're watching a TV show and it hits home with you. You know, like you see those tragedies that they put on the news, and you're seeing these horrible things, and it's so horrible that you're crying because you can feel the emotions in the moment. That's a form of empathy.
You know, it's interesting that you brought that up, because I think that these are all also really good reasons. I mean, I know for me, to keep our atmospheric space and the space around us, our energy field, clear. Because we are getting bombarded. We're living in a world with technology. We're living in a world with the media, and even our friends, even the people that we know and we love. If you are that type of psychic where you're an empath, and I know that I have grown into that actually, you're really going to be affected by the people that you live closest with. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Okay. I just really want to make it clear to everybody that being psychic is not a bad thing. And it's not a religion, and it's not connected to any religion. It's just something that we are born with. It's a gift that we're born that gets suppressed as we grow up, because we're programmed to be a certain way in life, and we're taught to ignore some of these emotions, and we tend to bottle them up and stuff them down. And that's why so many people are isolated. They feel isolated. And you see this a lot in teenagers, because like I was saying, I feel like children are so sensitive. And they don't have anybody who can relate to them.
So can we go so far as to say that everybody is psychic, like all children are psychic?
Everybody,
so that's
even non-children are psychic.
So I think that is that not the conclusion, but I think that is that is definitely the data that we've collected in our conversation. I think we can say that everybody can use this. Everybody is psychic. Whether or not it's developed or not, it's on the verge, and it could be developed as you become more aware and more in tune.
It's never too late. It's never too late to tune in. If you think you might be psychic, you know, there's so much information out there. You know, there's books, there's workshops. You know, don't be afraid to go a little deeper and get to know yourself and that aspect of yourself, because those little things can make the hugest difference on how you feel every day. I mean, we go into work, you know, we drive to work and we experience the frustration of the drive. And, you know, for some of us who are sensitive, we're feeling these outside energies, like, you know, you feel the anxiety and you feel like the anger and frustration, and you realize, like, it's not you that's feeling that. You're feeling the energy of everybody else. And that's, you know, also, you know, in crowds, some people don't do well with crowds because they feel
too much
closed in
from too many people. So and I think another way that people might learn that they're psychic, and they might be dismissing it. It's not just like how you feel around others, but some people dismiss dreams. You know, they'll have a dream, and that dream, even if it's symbolic, it will show something that is, or a reoccurring dream that is showing something to them over and over that is actually trying to get a message through. And what were you going to say?
I'm sorry. I just want to kind of go over some of the different forms of being psychic. Like I just described empathy.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main ones that so many of us, whether you're aware of it or not, at some point you empathize. You can feel, excess energy. And most people, like ghost hunters, you sense these energies when you visit these haunted locations. Another form is clairaudience. When you're hearing, spirits or outside energies speaking to you and you can't quite make sense of it, and it's almost like you're hearing voices and you just can't quite explain why you're hearing these things. Okay. And then there's clairvoyancy. There's people that can have the visions of things about to happen before they happen. There's so many different energies out there and so many different forms of psychic abilities. It's really a self-exploration, and seeing, there's mediumship, there's people who can speak to spirits, and communicate with past loved ones. There's clairsentience, these people can feel everything.
It's funny that they talk about the five senses.
Yeah.
And they talk about, is ESP included in that fifth sense?
Yes, absolutely. And
but
telepathy
really,
as well.
But really, that fifth sense, I think I'm right about that ESP is the fifth one, is really divided into a lot of different substructures, which is what you're saying. I mean, it's not just like one umbrella. It's just that we don't really have we haven't gotten close enough to really being able to call it an exact science, but we're getting closer. So, okay, I want to talk a little bit now about my experience, because I'm a professional tarot card reader, as I mentioned. And one place that I work, especially at this time of the year, is a place in Griffith Park called the Haunted Hayride. Does anybody know the Haunted Hayride? Do you know the Haunted Hayride?
Yes.
So the Haunted Hayride, you guys can all look it up online. It's a scary hayride, and there's all sorts of scare actors walking around, and they put you on a hayride, and scary things happen on the hayride. But the funny thing is that you're in the woods, and because of the time of the year and because of the energy of the woods, I always feel like maybe I should be protecting myself, maybe I should be keeping my aura more clean. And that's really one of the reasons, that I wanted to have you on today, because I was there last night and I came home feeling a little jittery. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it could have been because as I do readings, I get more and more get more into a rhythm or a flow. It's sort of like when you're doing anything creative, but I noticed that I couldn't sleep, and then I woke up super early, and I feel like, hey, I'm going back there again, and I'm exhausted. So I do need some auric cleansing. And some of these things on this table belong to me, and I'm so grateful that Nikki is here, because she's going to help me clean my aura, right? You said you would. You have to do it. Okay. and also she actually has a recipe. This is so exciting. We're going to be like a cooking show.
And it's really easy. And these are simple things that you can find at home in your kitchen right now. And if you don't have them in your kitchen right now, then you can definitely get them very inexpensive.
For very cheap.
Yeah.
For very, very cheap. So I'm gonna show my half, and then Nikki's gonna do a little kind of clear, like psychic hygiene on me, and then she's going to show everybody else how they can have this at their home. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this sort of thing. So this is the time for our commercial break, though, because now the audience is really excited. So we have to tell them, you have to heart us, and you have to, if you want to follow Metaphysically Speaking with Mystic Madison and my beautiful guests, please heart us, and that way you will get notices. I think that's how it works. You get notices about future shows, and then you'll never miss an episode.
Yes. And if you ever have any questions about Reiki, or have any more questions on your psychic experiences and want to learn more, feel free to look up for me at www.sanctuary-much.com. That's SANCTUARY-MUCH.com.
you're gonna have like a big line on Monday. Like everybody's gonna be there. And you can bring your pets. That's the best
we
part.
love your pets. Yes, bring your pets. I would love to do readings for your pets.
Your
and
pets.
Let's give them some Reiki and let's.
I mean, I
would
wish.
love to do a show about pets.
Yeah. Okay, that's our 4th show. So you have to heart us right now. Heart us. So that you can follow, and you'll never miss an episode if you follow Metaphysically Speaking with Mystic Madison and her lovely guests. All right, so I'm just gonna take a minute to talk about the things that I have. We have somebody in the audience. Did you want to?
Ma'am, I was thinking you should move the cable up front a little bit so everybody can see it. What do you think of that?
Okay, so we have a guest.
Can I do it? Can I do it?
Sure.
Am I on TV? Hello, everybody. I see you there.
Okay, just stay tuned, everybody.
Don't drop it.
Don't go away.
I'm gonna drop it. Okay. Let's move them back here, okay?
All right, you want us back there. All right, that's
Just so that you can see it all.
that's
Can I have your coffee, ma'am? Can I have your autograph? This is awesome. I'm on TV. I'm famous.
that was
Y'all don't be goofing around here. They're serious about this stuff.
that's our production crew. Eric Bauer.
Shh, don't that ain't me. It ain't me.
He's stepping up. He's helping us with the production.
He was a trooper, you know. I really have to thank him for going and getting us some fresh lavender. And
Okay, all right.
rosemary.
Okay, you're done already. You're done.
Oh, goodbye.
But it's true. He got on. I have this like really goofy yellow bike, and he got on my. He said he was going to streak. He better not do that. But anyway, so he got on my
Here it
yellow.
comes.
All right, stop. That's enough. Okay, he got on my yellow bike, and I don't know how he did it, but you wanted sage, right? Or
Yes, it's
rosemary, and this is
lavender.
yeah. So Nikki's like, this is what I need. And Eric Bauer, our production staff, was able to like do his magic and ride off in the middle of LA and get some.
I manifested
All right.
it. That's what I did.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about ways that I protect myself. Now, I have to be honest with everybody, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I am not very compliant about protecting myself. I'm very bad. As a matter of fact, I never even thought that you had to. I just figured, it's, I'm doing good readings. People like them. Yay. Getting paid, but I didn't realize that there is a lot of responsibility. I knew there was a lot of responsibility to tell people things that weren't going to get them stuck or to help them get unstuck, but I didn't realize there was a lot of responsibility to make sure that I don't take on stuff. But I do have, because I know what to do, even though I'm bad and not very compliant, I do have 2 things here. I have, this is sage, and this is Palo Santo, which is supposed to be like sage on steroids. That's what I was told.
It's Holywood.
Oh, it's called Holywood. Okay. I bought mine at a store on Abbot Kinney that I think is a little expensive, but it came like this, and this was $6 for 3 pieces. But I do have to say, you could probably get it a lot cheaper, but I do have to say that this has, oops, I'm sorry. This has lasted a really long time. Now, it also might have lasted a really long time because I never use it. But I'm going to burn it right now so that you guys can see how it works. Now, you're not going to be able to smell it, which is a shame because it really smells really, really good. But, and I hope I'm doing this right. You can feel, this is usually what I do. I try to, am I on the right end? Is that okay? Like you can light it where it's already burnt like that? Does that work? Okay. So it's like hardly lit. It didn't really light. So is there like something I'm doing wrong?
Well, there's no really real right or wrong way. You can use one or the other. You don't necessarily need to do both. Sage is very effective though for aura cleansing, as well as Palo Santo is kind of like that reinforcer, and it's that sweet, it brings in that sweet positive energy around your energy field, and it's a very pleasant scent that just complements I'm sorry, I keep thinking lavender. Yes, lavender can be used too, but you can use this with sage, and like I said, it's just they make such a great pair because it really cleanses and purifies. And being wood, it's very grounding, so it allows you to recenter yourself and kind of regather yourself. And whenever you're feeling kind of like mentally clustered, or you just feel like, if you're feeling like there's a weird vibe around you, you can burn this, and this will help to clear up some of that excess energy.
So I do have a question. I have two questions actually. Why is this that when I have to, first of all, I think one of the reasons I don't use it much is because it goes out so quick. So I have to keep lighting it. And the second reason is I don't think it was ever explained to me why this works. I mean, I wish that you guys could smell how good this smells. I mean, it's like better than a campfire. It just has such a warm, earthy, like kind of like grounding kind of smell that I enjoy doing it, but I don't know why this will get rid of stuff or help me.
It's the smoke that emits. It's the medicine of the plants, as I like to call it. And our ancient ancestors have been practicing these methods of aura cleansing for thousands and thousands of years. And it's been effective for them, and it's proven effective for myself and many other healing practitioners. That, we believe that certain plants, they hold different vibrations, and there's a plant for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plants like, sage and Palo Santo, and there's also other plants like mugwort, there's rosemary. There's so many plants out there.
That's our fifth show.
That could be used for, healing and wellness. And, it goes so much more beyond the physical, and we have 5 states of being. We have the physical, the spiritual, the mental and emotional, and then, there's our aura, the energy field around us, so these help us work with multi-level things. And I feel like we're multi-dimensional beings living multi-dimensional lives, and the plants carry medicine. Palo Santo is holy wood. That's what it means in Spanish, Palo Santo. It's holy wood. In English, that's what that means. That's what it relates to. So they believe that, burning this would cleanse all negative energy. It got rid of very dark energies. So if you ever feel like there's a ghost around you or anything like that, please feel free to burn this. And I know it can be difficult to burn.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things.
I finally got it to go for a while.
It's not one of those things that goes on burning for a long time.
Yeah.
And a little bit goes a long way.
Okay. And it certainly smells like that.
Oh, yes. And you can also feel free to use feathers. Our ancestors, they like to use feathers when they would burn these, and burn them in a safe abalone dish or some kind of fireproof bowl, just in case, any you just don't want to have.
You don't want to have any sparks. Like you don't need your whole house burning with pellet.
Yes.
But then I have a question about this, because I'm gonna also like this. This is what I used to use. You can see I haven't used it since I bought the other one because I heard it was so much stronger and better.
Using them both together is the best way. I feel.
I never even knew that.
Especially if you're going to be doing readings, and like you said, you're doing readings at the haunted hayride.
Right.
I wouldn't be afraid to burn some of that beforehand, just so you kind of clear your space before you start anything. Because I know being in public spaces, it can be overwhelming sometimes, being so open. And I feel like that's probably why you're feeling a little amplified.
Jittery,
yeah, because you're already so charged. You have so much energy going through your sessions. And it's like, you need to you need to ground yourself afterwards.
Well, the funny thing is, we can't burn anything up in Griffith Park because it's, we're living in Southern California. It's very dry and they don't want any sparks, like what you were saying before.
And there's alternative remedies that you can use as well.
Okay. So now you guys got a little education about some basic cleansing, but now are you going to cleanse my aura?
You're definitely doing it yourself right now while you're burning the sage.
Yeah, I know, but I want to do the other thing, and then you can teach everybody how to make it.
Okay, well, back to, you were saying how, you can't burn anything in a public space, and you can't light sage and Palo Santo at the hayrides. So my next suggestion would be to use an essential oil blend, that has the herb medicine within it that you can carry with you, and all you need is a couple of drops. Okay, and this is powerful. This is mind rest, but this has peppermint, rosemary, lemon, and eucalyptus. which all 4 of those are extremely powerful herbs for cleansing and purification and just preventing any kind of attachment of anything when you're opening yourself up to these senses. Because when you're open and unaware, we tend to attract things to ourselves that, may sometimes come off scary. Sometimes we just don't know how to explain it. So if you're trying to dim it down, this is perfect. So you don't have to get anything with the whole combination. If you're really into essential oils, this may be great for you. There's so much you can do with these. A little bit goes a long way. And one way that I like to cleanse my aura, because, in outside world, sometimes we can't burn our sage, and we can't, so I like to keep the sage for sessions when I'm doing my readings,
when you're home,
or when I'm at home and I'm cleaning the house and I just want a good boost of positive energy. I use this for when I'm cleaning my house and when I'm, cleaning myself and my aura and my spaces wherever I'm going to be reading or practicing any type of energy work.
But this is something I could take with me like tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
This is something you can take with you tonight, and actually I'll show you how to put this on. So there's different energy points within our body, and as empaths and psychics, we're very open, period. And one main center where we use our psychic senses is our third eye. So what I like to do is I like to put the oils on the palm of my hand here on my wrist.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that is because the skin absorbs it and it goes into your energy field, and it's very pleasant, and it's also a nice relaxing scent, as you can see. And you can even put a dab of this on your finger and place it on your third eye. So you're kind of protecting yourself, like you're allowing yourself to remain open, but you're also cleansing that psychic eye to allow you to give more accurate readings, to be open and not affected by the outside energy sources, because I have heard that Griffith Park is a haunted location.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to be reading in a place like that, then you want to make sure that you have the protection you need, so you're not attracting spirits that could be messing with your readings. But that's a topic for a whole other day.
That's another thing. We don't want to scare anybody.
Yeah, please, no.
Okay.
We don't want to scare you. And
So,
there's, we can, if you have any questions, please contact us and we'll be happy to answer them.
So now were you going to talk more about
Yes. Essential oils, they're a staple of my practice, and I like to use them because when I can't find wild herbs like this lavender and sage, I'm sorry, it's not sage. This is sage. The rosemary. Rosemary is great for protection. It's powerful for cleansing. It's a great
It's also
herb.
good to eat.
It's really good for you to eat. Lavender as well. And these two together are like the yin and yang of energetic purifying and cleansing.
Can't you just look at these in your hand? I mean, these are dried, right?
Yes,
pretty dry.
Well, this is a fresh sprig of lavender we collected on the way over here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. And this lavender is actually perfect. It's dried. It's dried up, and which is fine because when you're making products, when you're making these things with, and I will show you in a minute, when you're making things with herbs, like you can totally use these in a tea if you're feeling like, you want to internally vibrate this energy, so you feel cleansed. What I like to do with these wild herbs is I like to boil them like a tea. And I'll boil them together like a tea to extract their medicine, because while the plant's alive, it has all that
like essential oils.
It has all the natural oils and healing properties within it. So when you're boiling them, you're extracting them into the water. That's why the water turns brown and it changes color, because it's absorbing all that energy, healing medicine from the plants, especially when you're using it for that intention, because I believe that energy flows where attention goes. So with that being said, you can make this into a tea. You can drink it. Just make sure you wash the herbs properly before you do. Make sure you use a cheesecloth so you're not swallowing little chunks of herbs and choking
it's
on
so
them.
interesting because, as you were holding this, I got this wonderful feeling about the Middle Ages. Like, you just know that before there were stores and eBay and Amazon.
Our ancestors were using
you can just, this was like, these were the medicines of yesteryear. And, these wonderful properties that have then been factorized, like factoryized, and now cost a lot. So anyway, that's.
But you don't realize
really cool.
You can find these things down the street from your house. I mean, they're accessible. You can go to a store and you can find these plants. I mean, you can grow them in your garden. They're so accessible, and there's so much you can do with them. So I want to invite you to give these a try.
Well,
like I said, you can boil
talk
these.
about this one,
Yes,
right?
you can boil these into a tea. And when you boil these into a tea, you can actually set yourself up with a salt bath. And that's why I'm going into this next, because purification is an exterior cleanse, right? We're cleansing our aura and all the debris from the outside world. So before tonight, you said, you'd like me to help you cleanse your aura. So I have
Yes.
made you.
I'm so excited.
I have made you
I'm
this
excited
salt
for
scrub,
them to
and
see.
I want you guys to see this. I wish you could smell it.
Yes.
I've made this salt scrub with the intention of protection for Madison tonight for her
Yay!
event that she's going to be
I'm so
doing.
excited.
And I've actually used the lavender and rosemary within this blend. And like I was saying earlier, was you can boil them in a tea. Feel free to do that with this, because this will amplify the herbal energy powers within this. And the reason why this is a great way to go into an event like that, and even if you're just sensitive, period, and you just want to stay clear of all this excess and kind of get more familiar with what your own energy field looks like, I highly recommend it. If you're already a practitioner of energy, this is mandatory. Like, you should be doing this at least a couple of times a week to cleanse your energy field, so that when you're with your clients or doing any kind of energy work, you're starting with your clean slate and you're fresh.
Okay.
So I like to do salt baths. You don't necessarily have to, which is why I have made this into a scrub. It's all the work's done for you.
Okay.
This is so easy to make, and you can do it yourself. This is consisting of water, sea salt, an herbal tea. You don't have to use that, because again, we have the awesome essential oils, so you can totally use that. And I'm actually going to guide you through making this right now, so you can do it from home. All of these items you can find in your kitchen, and they're all accessible. If you don't, again, it's very inexpensive, and the herbs you can find for free outside if you know what herbs to work with. I will warn you with the herbs. If you're going to be exploring herbs, please find somebody, a professional, that can help guide you, because it can be very dangerous working with the plant world. So sage and rosemary is safe, but please, be cautious when attempting to work with other herbs, and make sure that they're not poisonous or.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Should we show first how you're going to clean my aura, and then we'll show them how to make it, or do you want to?
The way you would use this. Okay, and here, let me put it closer to the camera so you can actually see it. So the way you would use this is, it's already kind of made already for you. It's soft. It has olive oil. It has water. It has essential oils, and it has sea salt. And the reason I use sea salt is because sea salt is a puller of energy.
It's a conductor.
Yeah, no, it pulls energy out. So that's why when you take an Epsom salt bath for your muscles, when you're sore and achy, it's pulling all those toxins out of your body, which is what you want when you're trying to clear your aura. So the sea salt will do this for you. It's you can use Himalayan salt too. I don't recommend iodized salt, but if that's all you have, it's okay. Just use what you have. And again, energy flows where attention goes. So there's no right or wrong way. So when you make this, you'll see it'll have this consistent little, it'll feel like wet sand. And that's what you want. You don't want it too watery. And when you put this on your skin, it'll feel rough, like you're rubbing sand on your skin. And you're basically going to scrub your body, your whole entire body, before, you can take a bath with this and soak for 20 minutes. Or you can use it in the shower, before you step in. But you want to make sure that you're putting this all over your body before you rinse off. Just allow that to sit on your body. A couple minutes, 15, 20 minutes should be fine if you can sit through it. The most effective way is in a bath. That is when you're going to feel it's 100, and 10% in full hardcore cleanse. But if you don't have that at home, that's completely fine. That's why it's a scrub, and you can use it in the shower.
It's good for cleaning my jewelry.
It's salt can tarnish some silver, so just be careful with
that.
This is
this is great. People can. These are common things that people have in their kitchen.
Yes, and the olive oil is great because it allows your skin to not be dried out with the salt. The salt tends to dry out your skin. So adding olive oil is very, and all you need is just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. And I'm actually going to make this for you right now,
Yay.
so you can follow it and you can try this at home. And let us know. Let us know how it works for you. I'd love to hear your feedback. Yeah,
we definitely like feedback.
So for Madison's recipe, she's going to use this one tonight for her show before she leaves.
Or I can also do it when I get home and just take a bath.
Oh, definitely.
This is
perfect before or after any kind of healing work. You can wear the essential oil before you go.
Yeah.
And then you come home and then you cleanse off and cut all those cords, from connecting with so many people. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is our sea salt. See, you can get this for $1 at the 99-cent store. It's not expensive at all. So I'm going to use a generous amount of sea salt in this pot here.
This is like the Mystic Madison cooking show.
Yeah. And as you can see, it's all very fine. I'm just going to show you here. It's all, a little bit goes a long way. It's up to you. The best way to store these is in a mason jar, because it's going to keep the integrity of it's not going to, dry. I don't think it would dry out anyway, but it'll definitely keep the medicine within.
So
this is medicine.
We're making the same amount that you made here pretty much. Is that what this is going to equal?
Yeah, you'll be able to store these together.
Okay.
So we have our sea salt. That's the main ingredient. That's the staple. So we're already making this with the intention that it's going to be for protection and for cleansing your aura. You have the option. You can use regular water. You can use holy water. You can use herbal, tea and infuse it with the salt. For today, I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to use water. Okay, this water's been blessed and charged with Reiki. So we're going to just add a little bit, just to give it that sandy consistency. And if it comes out a little too watery, if you think you accidentally put too much, that's totally fine. We'll just add a little more salt.
So I guess texture is really important.
Texture is important because when you're in the bath and in the shower, you want it to stay on your skin. You don't want it to be so runny.
And it just collapses off. Right. Yeah. And look at how that texture
so look at
changed.
Look how that looks, Just check that out.
You can see her fingerprints in it.
And you want that, you really do, because our energy, we project energy no matter what. Whether you're a professional psychic or you're just, you just feel like you're sensitive, no matter what, we are always projecting energy. So when you're touching the things that you're making, you're putting that energy out into that. So, we're actually charging this with that intention that it's going to be for protection and it's going to be for cleansing and purification. Okay. This is the fun part, because once you've created, the base, you get
to build things.
You get to
like
go crazy.
Snowmen.
You can play, yeah. So, let me see. We got sweet orange.
Is that the one that you made it?
Well, we can do. And it's so cool, guys, because, you can make so many different kinds of salt scrubs. Like, it doesn't have to be limited to protection. If you need an energy boost, feel free to throw some sweet orange in there. That's a great scent. It smells so good.
So would sweet orange be a little different? Like lavender has certain properties.
Sweet orange will be
uplifting
and energizing,
yes.
And it will give you that boost to have the energy you need, especially if you've been sleep deprived tonight.
Wouldn't that make me stay awake?
No, not necessarily. Okay. It will just give you just the right amount of energy that you need.
Okay.
And as you see, you guys, we only used about 8 drops on there. I don't know if you can see.
I don't want to say what that looks like. I'm not going to say what it looks like, but.
And then we're going to add some peppermint, and that's going to be like very cleansing and very purifying. Peppermint's a great.
It's so funny
herb.
because I rub this on my hands, and I do have to say my hands feel so soft right now.
Oh my gosh! Okay, so when you get out after having done this from the shower, your skin may feel very like smooth, and just allow yourself to just like dry off naturally if you can before you start dusting off. You should be rinsed off already from the salt, but you'll notice your skin will feel a little softer.
I actually feel exfoliated.
Yes, definitely. This is a super, because we want to exfoliate. We want to get in there and really clean out all that stuff,
get all that gunk. Yes, whether it's energetic or
Yes.
whether it's whatever.
And again, here's my favorite oil: the peppermint, rosemary, lemon, eucalyptus.
By the way, I feel like it's burning a hole right through my third eye because there is
this
so
is
much
powerful
peppermint in
stuff.
that.
And for those of you with sensitive skin, make sure, before you try any essential oils, please test it first on your skin before you put it on. If you are aware that you have sensitive skin, you can dilute this with coconut oil. You can use 1 drop of coconut oil to 3 drops of this, and it should be fine and safe enough for you to place on your skin. So I just want to put that out there for those of you that have sensitive skin, because I am one of them. And sometimes, my skin reacts differently to certain oils. Again, you're going to work with whatever you're drawn to. There's no right or wrong way. This is just an example of some of the tools that are out there that you can use right now without having to rely on people to guide you through it.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so we added the water. We added some oils. We can throw herbs. It kind of can be chunky. So I preferred the tea blend. I'm not going to do it for this time.
Okay.
But, we got a lot going on right here, right now.
And I think we want to make it simple for the audience, too, so that they can do, what is the least possible ingredients where you can still get the good effects?
Essential oils, 100%. Because it comes straight from the plant. The work's already done for you. The medicine's already extracted. All you have to do is make sure you're getting it from a pure organic source.
Okay.
And, just have fun with the plants. I mean, being a shamanic Reiki master, my practice relies very heavily on natural, holistic products and being connected with the earth. In my practice, I'm very connected with earth energy, and I work with healing crystals. As you can see, I work a lot with herbs.
Right, but we want to keep it really simple.
Yeah,
for them,
so this is simple enough that you can do this at home and you can apply this. So we've mixed everything together. The last ingredient I used was a special protection oil that was handmade for me from a dear friend. And this is third eye protection oil, along with some enhanced protection for when you're out there doing readings and you're in these haunted places and you just need that extra boost and shield of protection. And again, if you can't, if you're not as creative or don't think, you can do this, there's other things that I will be happy to show you that you can do as well to kind of help you in the moment, because sometimes we don't have access to these things when we feel like we need protection. So
sometimes you're just not thinking about it. Oh, maybe I feel jittery because
and don't be afraid to
protection.
get your hands dirty, guys. I really do. I push for getting in there and just feeling this stuff in your hands and allowing yourself. Yeah, it's so much fun. And you're really you're mixing the medicine. You're using your energy to create this for you.
And isn't that so different than products we buy, which are already factory made for us? I mean, it's so much more special when you're doing it yourself.
Yes, and I've seen stuff like this out there being sold for $40 a bottle. You guys, this is less than $10 worth of stuff.
I don't even think it's that much.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so cheap, you guys. You don't need to go out there and overspend. Not everybody is rich and has all this money. So, my method, like I said, being a shamanic Reiki master, I really emphasize on using the tools that we have the right to use, and that is the earth, working with the earth and the earth medicine. And so I emphasize, and it may not resonate with you. You may have other, some people like sound healing and things like that, but for this specific
we're
show,
keeping it,
we're keeping it, we're keeping it herbal, and we're keeping it simple for you guys.
We're keeping it at the body shop, metaphysically.
So if you guys, and look at that, that's what it's going to look like when it's on your skin.
Yeah.
So just, and it's very fine, it's very, look at the texture, and just, you can wash your hands with this right now, even, and it just feels so good. I mean, I just want to rub it all over myself right now. And so
I'm just going to step out of frame one time just to see.
So I'm just cleansing, and
I
just
think we're actually at the end of the show.
Right,
it's
go ahead and
3:59.
rinse off and feel the difference. Here, Madison, why don't you give it a try?
Yeah, I would like to. Thanks.
Do you want to give a close out?
Yeah, I think we're actually at the end. Thank you, Nikki, so much for making this. I think you said I can keep it, right? I can keep
absolutely.
This.
That was made specifically for you.
Yeah, so yes. I'm gonna need it
and of
tonight.
course for you guys too.
And this has been a real pleasure. I'm really happy that Bid Chat has come along, and I do think it's going to revolutionize broadcasting and getting stuff into people's living rooms. And Nikki's going to come back. We're going to have a lot of other people come on the show. We're going to be talking to a psychometrist. We're going to be talking to a yoga instructor. We're going to be talking to somebody about living authentically. We've got a lot of really cool stuff. And we have a great production staff named Eric Bauer. So
Stop using my name.
I just want to tell everybody to heart us. And that would be a great thing to do so that you can follow what we're doing. And Nikki, thank you so much. And she's again from Sanctuary Much. That's Sanctuary-Much.
Yes.
And I'm going to come and get a Reiki healing.
You can follow us on Facebook. You can visit our website. Again, it's www.sanctuary-much.com.
Yay.
And you guys, one more thing before you go, because I've had so much fun today. I want to show you one last thing. If you don't have access to any of these tools, it's very simple. If you feel you need protection, put yourself in a bubble of light and just visualize that bubble of light. And with your hands, actually, visualize this light enveloping you, and just allowing this energy just surrounding you. And try it, Madison. You will feel the difference.
I actually do that. And the thing that people maybe don't know, and I want to share this with people, is that as you envision it, it is. So you may not see the light circulating or circling
definitely feel
but
it.
you'll feel it.
You'll feel a chill tingling down your spine. I mean, if you're not feeling anything, that's fine. Everybody's on a different part of their path. That's totally fine. But the more you practice these exercises and use these tools, you will immediately start to feel the differences in energy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's powerful stuff, you guys, and you can take it as far as you want to go. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Until the next show, namaste, you guys.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
So how do we turn it off?